Phone number's 248-539-9797. Real quick here, Woj.
Yeah.
I see a lot of ticket texters.
Yeah.
They're trying to bait me into losing this bet.
Don't do it.
So I have to drink the poopy coffee. I'm not going to read your text messages with references to the subject matter that I cannot address until after 6 p.m. when we get off the air.
Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few here. You're right.
Yeah, they're trying really
to bait
hard.
him in. He's going to drink the monkey poop.
It's not going to happen.
And on the Frank Ragnow pick, when I say it's love-hate, it's actually hate-love. And I only base this on the initial reaction. And we are asking people their initial reaction at 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. And did it change the more you heard? Because, like I said, I looked at some older mock drafts and I'm like, wait, he wasn't supposed to go till mid-second round. And then I got more up-to-date information, and like Mike Mayock had him going 21st, right after the Lions, and Pro Football Focus had him the second highest rated interior line, one of the highest rated centers they've ever had. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to pretend like I'm Mr. Offensive Line Guru. I'm going to have to go on what these experts are saying, and I'm fine with it, and I'm fine with the concept of it, because an incomplete offensive line, I don't care how many first-round picks you put at the tackles and everywhere else, if you don't solidify it across the board, it's a waste. One hole in an offensive line can be shredded, unlike any other unit in football. So I'm on board with that. Now, for the second round today.
Are we going to get Wojadamas here by the end of the show?
No. I'm still willing to hold off a little bit longer on the running back.
Okay.
And I do want to see a big old defensive tackle or edge rusher with their 51st pick, unless they trade down, which I'm fine with as well. That's my goal.
Yeah, and I guess for me, before we get back to the phones, and of course we want to hear from Lions fans again. You love, hate the pick. Are you warming up to it at this point? What do you want to see the Lions do the rest of the weekend? 248-539-9797. For me, last night, just watching the draft, and even doing the show with you yesterday, we took care of the Valenti show and the Bogey and Wojo show. I mean, we were really knocking it out of the park.
Then we came in overnight and did Chapman's show. People didn't even realize that.
Exactly. We didn't even sleep last night. It was incredible. But you did force me to say, okay, Bogey, I know that you want the Lions to trade down, okay, and get extra picks. But you did force me to say, what if they have to stand pat at number 20?
I did force you,
and I did want an offensive lineman. I did think, just based on what you had heard, that Will Hernandez would be the guy potentially if they had to go that route. And when you hear Frank Ragnow's name, out of Roger Goodell's mouth, you did have that second where you go, okay, not really familiar with the guy, but I love the position. I love the fact that they went interior offensive line. And as it continued to come out and you started to see people react, Pro Football Focus loves them. You see the statistic about the fact that in 3 years at Arkansas as a starter, it's like over 2,500 snaps, didn't allow one sack in his entire career.
Generally, sacks don't come through the center, to be fair.
Fair enough. But you hear, again, he's in charge of protections. He's in charge of getting them in the right sets for as far as running the football and making sure everyone is in concert with one another along the offensive line. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's kind of one of those nasty, quote-unquote, hashtag football guys. I like the pick, but I more so like the philosophy than I do Frank Ragnow. You do need to shore up the offensive line and make sure that you're, one, protecting Matthew Stafford, and two, getting more physical at the point of attack, which clearly the Lions desperately need.
Right. 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. And I totally agree. It's the concept more than anything. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched all the Ragnow tape. Although, and you could tell Bob Quinn, there was one game last year. He missed the second half of the season with a high ankle sprain, which downgraded him a little bit, but he says it's totally fine now. But he played center all of last year, except when Arkansas played Alabama, he had to switch to guard and apparently was dominant at guard against Alabama. That's what the little line geeks tell me. Just saying, if that makes you feel, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. You can still hate it.
Well,
I see lots of ticket texts that still say, hate it. Could have gotten it much later. Hate it. Here's one. Ragnow had a draft grade that is lower than 32 players have yet to be drafted. Congratulations, Detroit Lions. Well, I'd like to know what draft grade you're looking at, because there's all sorts of different charts, and they change over time, too.
And that's the thing, too. You know, you look at who we were talking about yesterday, potentially, you know, being taken at, you know, number 20 overall, you know, if you are the Lions. And a lot of the guys that we had discussed, they're all still out there, you know, on the board. I mean, there was one, I think it was Rashaan Evans, a linebacker from Alabama that we discussed, who could have potentially been, you know, a pick there at 20. He went at 22. After that, I mean, were the Lions really seriously considering any of the other guys that went from 21 to 32? No. I mean, each of the other guys that we addressed are all still out there. So they clearly found a guy that they loved. They had a position of need, and they went ahead and did it.
Okay,
I
we're
have no
going to tell
issue with
you
that.
who we want them to go with in the second and third round when we come back, but I'm also going to give you one thing to chew on. So when you're hanging out with the boys tonight before the Lions are picking, you might drop this knowledge on them a little bit. I think I've detected one other trend in the Bob Quinn's drafting. One other trend. I think he is partial to and leans toward and values higher players that played at big-time schools against big-time competition.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Decker, Ohio State; Ashawn Robinson, Alabama; Tease Tabor, Florida; Jared Davis, Florida; Arkansas for Ragnow.
Graham Glasgow, Michigan. Well,
Michigan.
No, never mind.
Oh,
Michigan's
yeah,
not a big
time,
program
right?
anymore, yeah.
I'm just saying now, I haven't going all the way through, but at the higher end of the, and he talked about going up against SEC defenses, how that mattered more to him. Maybe that's what I should have been thinking instead of saying the UTEP guy, Hernandez. I really think there's a trend there that he really likes big school guys, and I don't know, maybe there's something to be said for that.
I hear you. I think it's an interesting trend, and obviously, so far, it's proven to work out outside of probably Tease Tabor. But 248-539-9797. Frank Ragnow introduced in Allen Park not too long ago. He's your first-round pick for the Detroit Lions. A center, could potentially play guard, although I would expect him to be the center. Do you love it? Do you hate it? You on board with it? And if you don't like it, what can the Lions do this weekend to make you like the draft a little bit more? If you do like it, what don't you want to see the Lions do potentially this weekend to screw it all up? 97.1.